past couple of weeks for working for D4M, I keep hearing about the term 60 and 60. So just to start off, what exactly is 60 and 60?
60 and 60 refers to a specific story about implementing SAP ERP solutions in a 60 manufacturing plants in 60 months. These specific plants supply parts to automotive companies, and in the US and Mexico and Brazil countries. The scope of the solution within this implementation is mainly the processes of purchasing to payment, order to cash, manufacturing planning and execution, logistic and finance controlling, and also includes all the integration to all other systems like shop floor system, payroll, HR, finance consolidation, banks, vendor invoicing, etc. Then again, 60 and 60, it's more about a example of how a company can implement an SAP ERP system in 60 plants in 60 months.
And from my understanding of SAP rollouts, this is quite a feat to accomplish because from what I understand, SAP rollouts are 6 months. Is that correct?
Yes, it's within our experience in D4M International, it goes from 4 months to 18 months. That's if I can say, that's the average of the implementation. Therefore, yes, I agree with you. This requires a multiple plans coordination at the same time.
Out of curiosity, because I've talked to Raj and he seems to tell me that multiple rollouts at once, it tends to be quite rare in our industry. So what exactly is necessary? What is the difference in your approach? How can you 60 rollouts in 60 months, especially given that normal SAP rollouts are around 4 to 6 months?
The special thing that we have been doing, we have been proving with some of our customers, is that first of all, we prepare very well. Yeah, we have a methodology for transforming the organization into standardized processes, which that's key. Standardized processes is the key word in all this conversation. Our customers, before doing this implementation in these 60 months, needs to be totally aware and needs to buy into the concept of standardization of their processes. And also, obviously, that drives the standardization of the information technologies. And we have the way to assess our customers to finding what level of maturity or readiness they could be to start this journey of transformation of company. Then we need to prepare for this transformation by identifying, as an example, what are the processes that will be standardized, how will it be identified, the transformation of the process methods, what is the governance of the solution and the template solution, and how it will be making the training and also data transformation within this specific program. And this is just to state some of the key elements that are different from D4M International methodology and experience.
So in a way, you found the secret sauce where it's the exact elements that you need to prepare for in order to, like you say, create a standardized approach to rolling out the multiple plants at once.
Exactly. Yeah. That I will say that I will not say exactly secret sauce because it's known in the market, but we have the specific details that allows to make it happen. And we are recognized as by our customers as people that delivers, people that knows the business, is a consultants that knows the business, and by the way, they know what is the technology that is supporting that business.
Okay, so just for my own curiosity here. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that you're starting to do a similar 60 and 60 process for a company. What exactly are some of the early steps when approaching this in this way. I just want to try to pick your brain on that.
I'm trying to picture a scenario where an organization is interested to go through this journey of business transformation.
I'm assuming it would be on the larger side, right? It wouldn't
Yes,
necessarily be like a tier 3 or anything like that.
correct. And then there is an organization, in this case, a manufacturing tier one supplier or tier two supplier, or even a OEM that is interested in going through this transformation journey. And what it will needed, what it will be recommended is that they call us. We go through a readiness assessment journey where we will be able to determine what are the areas that should be prepared before starting this journey, and area, and what are the areas, and what is the specific actions that they need to take to be ready to start this journey. And as for example, just to say that there is typical things that we found in some organizations is the lack of alignment and interest of standardization of processes. Another interesting thing that we have found is that some of the organizations, they don't have a clear a process and people change management methodology or a structure inside of the organization to make this transformation happen. And like those ones, I can mention another bunch of opportunities that we found in some other customers as part of the preparation for them to start this journey.
A lot of these answers could be interviews in and of themselves, but okay. So I suppose just asking a general question here, what are some things to look out for when it comes to rolling things out in this capacity? You talk a lot about having a standardized approach to it, having stable leadership. Are there other observations that that in your line of work have come up that people should be aware of if they're attempting to do this multiple plant?
Yes, there are many of them, but just to mention some of the key elements of this transformation is I will start with the right sponsorship at corporate and plant management. That needs to be fully, and that means that there is a commitment and relevancy of this transformation program in each of the personal objectives of those managers involved in this transformation, and obviously at the corporate and at the plant management. This sponsorship, it's required to even able to operate in the fast way, and then being able to set the right priorities in the day-to-day operations of the project. Another very important element is that it is that this program of transformation should be recognized as project transformation and not a technology transformation. What I'm saying is that this needs to be driven by business. The technology portion is relevant, and the technology portion will be enhanced to what already exists, but it is not a technology-based project. It is a business operation-based project, and that needs to be recognized. That means that the leaders of the business will be performing that transformation in the way that they do the day-to-day operations. And if this one is not recognized up front, then it needs to be changed, yeah, and needs to be addressed. Another important element of the whole recipe, as you mentioned it before, is to have a robust template. And when I say template, it sounds very simple, but it's a template that should contain a identified list of business processes and guidelines within the organization. Those templates of business processes, guidelines, and requirements, and also a template of the IT solution that will be implemented. Yeah, those are two key elements that needs to exist. And then the third element is a governance methodology. Yeah, a governance methodology of how to and when to make a change to these mentioned templates. Yeah, not because everybody wants to do a change, but it needs to be that methodology of governance of that templates needs to be robust enough, but fast enough to be able to make fast decisions, and in that way the project is not jeopardized, and the 60 and 60 is not jeopardized by waiting times within this governance process. Another key element that to the recipe is that the organization needs to look for their best resources within the organization to bring this transformation in place. And that's huge difference when the organization set the priorities to their best resources into this transformation versus not having those best resources in this transformation. That's huge. And I think that we can talk the whole day about the requirements for performing these rollouts, but I think that I just mentioned the key elements that needs to be considered.
So it seems as though the 60 and 60 is almost more about planning than the execution, just making sure that all the steps required for the entire process are in place so that you guys can do your job based on years of experience.
You touch a very important point, preparation. The preparation, I will say that it is 60%, 60 to 70% of the recipe of success. This preparation could be very fast by doing it with D4M International because we have the recipes. And even though it's a 70% of 60 to 70% of the recipe, that does not represent the 60 or 70% of the cost or the time of implementation. That's much less than that. Yeah. And I will call it probably is between 10 to 20% of the whole program. Yeah. Now, the rest is the execution of the program, and the execution of the program, if we have the right elements that we just discussed and some other ones, that will be possible to execute it as a regular project. And we know how to do that. And I'm sure that our customers have enjoyed the journey of those projects while we have a very tough conversations in the day to day to make it happen and being on target to the specific timelines and scope.